Well, I had thought it was quite hard doing these vidcasts, and those of you who saw my earlier couple of efforts may well concur with that self-assessment, but I can now say with some degree of authority that it has nothing at all on doing the real thing, on actually being interviewed for the telly, because I had that experience on Friday afternoon. I was interviewed for BBC South Regional News. You probably saw it because I know it's a big ratings winner, and if you can't get home in time you set the video recorder, and I was being interviewed about the big issue of the week. No, not the Middle East, not Lebanon, Israel, not that stuff, certainly not Min Campbell's leadership. No, it's about residents' parking charges in Oxford, because on Friday the Lib Dem City Council announced that it would refuse to administer the parking zones on behalf of the Tory-controlled County Council if the County Council refuses to listen to the public consultation and imposes charges in what we think will be the face of very widespread local opposition. So that was the story, and it's an issue I know a fair amount about and care a fair amount about, so I'm probably the worst possible person to be interviewed on the subject, because the chance of me condensing all I think, know and feel into a 10 or 15 second soundbite is really quite unrealistic, as my BBC interviewer discovered as we got to the 7th or 8th retake. In my defence, I should point out that this interview was taking place in the middle of the street, so there were members of the public standing, staring, pointing and laughing at me, which was slightly distracting. Second of all, it was baking hot sunshine, and the interviewer said, we're going to stand in the middle of the street, and can you look directly into the sun, because that's really good lighting conditions for us then. Well, it may be, but there was sweat pouring down my back and trickling down my face. And then he had the cheek to say to me, are you feeling at all nervous or anxious about this, because you're perspiring? And I was just trying to point out, no, I'm glowing because it really is quite hot. Can we get this over and done with? Unfortunately, I wasn't helping in that regard, really, but anyway. And then final indignity, I had to hold my own microphone, because there was an interviewer and a cameraman, and that was one and the same person, because, you know, the BBC's a bit of a cheap two-bit operation these days. So there I was, holding my microphone in the middle of the street on a baking hot day, and I have to say I was utterly failing to get my point across even semi-coherently. But it did at least give me an insight into what is quite useful about these vidcasts, because I'm in control, and I'm the only person who knows quite how many retakes go into getting even to the version that you see before you today, whereas unfortunately there were far too many witnesses to the BBC interview on Friday. So I'm going to keep doing these until I get it even semi-right. Thank you.